coast to coast, it's your hosts, the Lombardi Leap and Mersey FB. This is Beyond the Frozen Tundra.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Lombardi, here with Mersey, and we are talking big boys today. We're talking big boys.
I'm excited. I like watching defensive tackles.
I like the trenches.
Before we get too far into this episode, I would like to preface, I put out a tweet not too long ago saying that I like what our defensive tackle room is right now, with the top three being Wyatt, Hargrave, and Brinson. I think adding another body would be good. More of a run stopping mold, but
yeah. Unfortunately, like when it comes to this draft, I don't want to say easy, because that's kind of a weird word to use. But it's a lot more natural to get a run stuffer defensive tackle right now.
yes,
I think
there is definitely more run stuffers than like natural pass rushers. But I did my board a little differently than you did. You weighted it more off of like Packers preferences and everything. I did it based off what I saw and what I liked, or what I like in a defensive tackle. And I ranked 11 guys. You said you ranked 8?
Yes, 8. 8 guys that really kind of stood out to me that I could see as we kind of progressively get through the draft could end up being a Packer.
Mm-hmm. And for obvious time-saving sakes, we're not talking about like Caleb Banks or Peter Woods or Caden McDonald, because they will get drafted way before we have the chance to pick them.
Yeah. I mean, Caleb Banks is so weird because he's not going to be ready until I think June, if I recall.
He'll be ready for camp, but it's just like he'll miss his pro day. He did half of the testing at the combine, and it's the lingering foot issues that are the question with him. McDonald is just a pretty like stock standard. He can come in and stop the run right away, play at a high level right away. And Peter Woods had like top 5 hype way back when.
Oh, so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just for some context here, PFF has Caden McDonald ranked at 28. He'll probably go a little bit higher than that. I suspect. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't fall past 20. Caleb Banks is still ranked at 32, and then Peter Woods right on his heels at 33 still. And this is the most recent because PFF just would have updated their rankings here. But let's get into it. I think, what is it? Corners, did you go first or did I go first? I can't remember. Last episode. I think
you went first.
Yes, you are right. And you do have a couple more than I do. So
yes,
I will let you take it away with 11, 10, and 9.
Okay. So my 11th ranked defensive tackle is Cameron Ball from Arkansas.
Oh, I kind of forgot about him.
Yeah. He's 6'3" and 5/8", 310 pounds. He has 33-inch arms and 9.5-inch hands. He plays bigger than his size, which is kind of surprising. But then that has its own downsides. Is like he's very inconsistent with his pad level, and his pass rush mostly comes from pushing the pocket rather than actual moves or counters. And his testing percentiles are relatively middle of the pack, and they don't stand out among the other interior defensive linemen. But like, hey, he plays strong. He has a good initial burst, and he's a good pocket pusher. Like, you can see how Arkansas got some play along that defensive line this year.
I mean, he does have a pass rush win rate of 8.2%. So it's not bad at all. And I mean, I do like the size.
Yeah, but when I was watching the tape, it mostly comes from, I'm stronger than you. I'm going to push you back into the quarterback.
Bully ball?
Yeah. It was a lot of bully ball, and it wasn't really refined. You're going to see that a lot for a lot of like the defensive tackles in this class, is more bully ball than anything sometimes. Like my next guy, Tim Keenan. He comes in at defensive tackle 10 for me.
If I would have done 2 additional more, I would have put him at 10.
Yeah. So the pros with him is he's a very powerful run defender. Like, he will eat double teams. He's the typical nose tackle build at 6'1", 327. 30-inch arms and 8 and 5/8-inch hands, and that's a very limited athletic profile. First percentile arm length for him.
He's a small dude.
Yeah, and he is like 9th percentile height. However, he is 89th percentile weight.
How did he get like a
bowling ball, like a literal bowling ball? I use that term a lot, but
I'm just looking at his stats right here, real quick. Like, I don't even know how he got 3 sacks this year or last year or 2 in 2023 with a pass rush win rate of 2.7%.
Yeah, he's not going to rush the passer, but what he will do is he'll walk the center and the guard into the lap of the quarterback. So it kind of like plays into the advantage of your edge rushers. He does have good reps in run defense. Like in the SEC championship this past year, he like took Malachi Tolliver's lunch money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
he's had really good games against Georgia.
He's had really good games against Georgia. There is a bit of a health concern because he underwent tightrope surgery in 2025, missed 3 games.
Only missing 3 games, so that's not too bad.
That's not too bad, but like the tightrope can be a little scary. But again, like you won't move him off the ball, and he tries his best to corkscrew when double teamed, and that's something that we'll get into a little later with another one of the defensive tackles we'll talk about at the end of this episode. He does really well. So,
and who's your number
9?
9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rayshon Benny, defensive tackle, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a little lower on Benny than I feel like where the consensus is. He's 6'3", 298. Michigan played him all over the line of scrimmage, and so I think he's a little light for a nose tackle. He's an average athletic profile. Testing and measurables don't really stand out. I mean, he's got 33-inch arms and like 9.25-inch hands, but he does so in run defense. He doesn't really attack up the field the same way that some of the other defensive tackles in the class do.
Okay.
If that makes sense, right? He'll engage the guard or the center, look up, figure out where the running back is going, disengage, and then make the tackle 1 to 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Like, so it's a 1 to 2 yard gain. And I kind of don't like that at all when tackles do that. Like, I would rather they try to play through the guard or the center to disrupt the play.
Mm-hmm.
And so that showed up a lot more on his tape than you would like it to. But like, hey, he makes tackles. There is flexibility to play him along the line of scrimmage in like a 5-man front, which I think the Packers could like. And he does in pass rush. He does tend to jump up and get active trying to bat down passes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes, that was definitely very evident. I just wonder if with Gannon being the defensive coordinator now, how much they lean into these lighter defensive tackles. Because we've seen them go with Hargrave here.
Hargrave's Hargrave's like 310. So
yeah. But I mean 10 pounds, I mean they got rid of Colby Wooden.
Yeah, they got rid of Colby Wooden. I wouldn't be surprised if Carl Brooks doesn't make it through camp.
Yeah. So, just that price tag, and he's so light. Like he really is. I know he's sub 300. But I mean, even bringing in Javon Hargrave there, like...
Oh, Carl Brooks is like really sub 300. He's like 285.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, so I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what kind of takes place there in that regard. Like, I don't really think they're going to take a sub 300 defensive tackle. That's just kind of where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm.
What I kind of see here. With that... Like speaking.
Yeah, who's your defensive tackle 9?
You mean 8?
Oh, 8.
That's where I'm at. 8. Yes,
8. Who's your defensive tackle 8?
Is the wonderful Gary Smith out of UCLA.
He's not sub 300.
He's not sub 300.
Okay, good. I was like, are we talking about the same?
Yeah.
I thought he was like 315.
He came in. Oh no, I'm sorry. He came in at 320 almost. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
I had the wrong number there.
PFF has him listed at 340, but that's probably pre-combine.
At the combine, he came in at 319. I do really like Gary Smith. Like it's just fun to watch. There is no pass rush game. I'm not gonna lie.
So like Tim Keenan, just
yes. Like there really is no pass. It's just I'm an immovable object. The burst is average. Like he is a rotational thing. I like if you listen to a couple of my other episodes too. I've compared him to like John Jenkins, a couple other just kind of guys who.
John Jenkins has had a 10-year career in the league, by the way.
Yeah, yes, as just a nose tackle. Was a former 3rd-round pick, and he went to Georgia.
I know.
So yeah, Georgia John Jenkins has been my biggest comp for him. He played at Duke. He's a smart player, like not a rangy guy at all. But I mean, my goodness, I want a guy who can anchor, and he is the anchor. And I will say this, like, I know he doesn't really have that much of a pass rush because of his lateral agility, but like, if you look at his upper body though, he can be a pretty violent. He's got some violent hands and just a gritty, down to earth. I'm going to punch you, literally might actually punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
kind of player.
He's a redshirt
So,
senior as well.
Yeah, he's older. Came from a significant injury there.
A lot of the DT class is older, so I'm not really using that as a knock because it's just this type of class.
And he is like he's projected to go late anyways. Like I would love for them Packers get him in the 6th and like boom. All right, we're gonna rotate you. It's goal line stand. Gary, go eat everybody, and he'll be like, okay, sure. So I like him in that aspect of it. I think he would make a great nose tackle right off the get go. He can do that. I'd love to because he has those violent hands. Be fun on field goals, field goal tries, stuff like that too. Like he's definitely not going to pop up necessarily, but he might be able to open the gate for somebody else to get through.
Okay.
So there's Gary Smith for you. Who's your 8?
When you think of if I say words bowling ball defensive tackle, who do you think of?
Dante Corleone.
Bingo. Actually, I should say bowling ball nose tackle because he can't play anything else, or I wouldn't play him anywhere else. So
that's literally it.
He is 6 foot, or he is 6 feet and a half inch, 340 pounds, 31 and 7/8 inch arms, 9.5 inch hands. He's a nose tackle through and through. I'm going to run through the pros and then I'm going to run through the cons, okay? Elite play strength, one of the strongest interior defenders in the class. He can bench press 485, squat 615, and sumo deadlift 585 from Feldman's Freak List. So that power constantly shows up when he's engaging with blockers. Impossible to move. He will not move against his own will. He has a natural leverage advantage because he's a little bit on the shorter side. And so it helps him get under the offensive lineman and really drive them back. When you hear the words 3-4, or when you hear 340 pounds, you might think that he's a little slower. 1.71 10-yard split, and he's very quick laterally, and he can close distance surprisingly quickly, and you see that on tape. That plays into his good pursuit effort. He always he's moving quickly laterally and will try and chase plays down left and right to the sideline, and you can't double team him. You won't be able to move him. So that pure nose tackle, he just holds the line at the front there at the 1 yard line. And because he's so strong, I think he could be pretty good at TE stunts where the defensive tackle just goes, okay, I'm going to throw my shoulder into this guard and let my end loop around me. And I think that would be really good in our scheme. And he could do a great job at it because he could do that while staying engaged with the center.
Yeah, I wasn't always the biggest fan of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know there are some medical red flags for him.
Yeah, it's the blood clots. He only missed 2 games from it, but he missed a whole spring program. So
that is true.
That was in 2024.
He is older.
He is a little older, but I mean the whole class is. The cons for him are the limited frame, 2nd percentile height, 10th percentile arm length, and you can't play him up or down the line. He's strictly a nose tackle, so he's either always over the center or he's either a 0 or a 1 technique. You would not want him to play him 3-eye or anything like that. The shorter arms make it difficult for him to separate or disengage from blocks. Stacking and shedding is not his best priority, and he wins either very quickly by pushing the lineman to the side on play action, or he just walks them back into the quarterback. There isn't much of a pass rush plan.
When you're that heavy,
you can't. You don't really need to have one, but that's just part of what factored into my eval. So
makes sense.
I grade out of out of 10, and so he came in at DT8 at 7 out of 10.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, which is 2nd to 3rd round for me.
Yeah, I for me, 3rd round would be okay.
6 to 5 is day 3. Anything 5 and lower is UDFA with varying scales of that. So
that was your 8.
That was
right?
my 8.
My number 7 is a guy who I know it's been reported that the Packers really, really like. It's Brandon Cleveland out of NC State.
I didn't get to watch him yet. He's on my list.
He's fun to watch. He really is fun to watch. He is built like a bull.
Oh, okay.
He is very thick boned. He has broad hips and a chest, and he is there's a lot of power there, and a lot of very, very wide base. And what's interesting is that he weighed in at, I think it was 307.
Okay.
6'3", 307. Okay. But
wait, what do I have him at?
For a guy,
I got his weight. Yeah, 6'3", 307. 32 inch arms, 9 1/4 inch hands.
Yep. Yeah. For a guy who's only like in a class that's only 307. That dude is stout against the run. Like I was very, very impressed with just how he stays there, how he stands strong. Like, and a lot of it too is just because of his frame. You don't see him get knocked to the ground, or much less even off balance, which is pretty key. He honestly can come in as a nose tackle at that weight, and he will be successful, like very well. Which I understand why the Packers would like that. A guy who's 307, not necessarily 340, but can still anchor. I mean, PFF has him ready for this. 8.9% run stop rate.
Yeah,
He
that's
graded
pretty high.
at 307. 75.2 was his PFF grade. And this guy's kind of, I think he there's a possibility he could go higher than a lot of people expect.
Yeah, but he's ranked 300th in PFF, so.
Yeah. And he still has a pass rush win rate of 6.7%. He got 2 sacks, 2 hits this year on the quarterback. 1 last year, 5, 9 hurries this year, 13 last year. So there is the ability to get to the quarterback, and it's there. So there's upside, especially for a guy his size. The trade-off kind of is there. Not, again, quick step. Below average, I'd say quick step. At average lateral agility, kind of some sluggish change of direction there. But you're not really going to have him rush around the edges all that much. Like, you're going to have him pretty much clog the interior right away. And you have a lot more upside as a pass rusher than somebody like Nazir Stackhouse.
Right, yeah.
Or like the later round guys too, like Gary Smith.
Well, I think Nazir could really develop, but that's just going to take time, and I don't know if the coaching staff wants to dedicate that sort of time. In terms of Brandon Cleveland, like his best games were Duke and Miami, so that's good. But his worst games were Notre Dame and FSU, and so playing at NC State, like when you're playing that higher level of competition, to flip flop like that is kind of interesting. So
yeah, it is there. It's just one of those things where he needs a little bit more development. I mean, you're going day 3 with him, to be honest. In my opinion.
like you take him in like the 7th or something. So
yeah. Who's your 7?
Dominique Orange.
Wow. Okay, I'm interested to hear that.
So remember when he's still graded at like a 7.5 out of 10, but
okay, yeah, that is true.
So there's just people like I have above him. Well, technically, if we're counting Caleb Banks, McDonald, and Woods, then he's like DT3 or not DT3, DT10. But so he's 6 foot. He's 6'2", 322, 33 and 3/8 inch arms, 10 and a quarter inch hands. He's primarily a nose tackle, freakishly strong. Feldman's Freak List reported him at a 450-pound bench, 650 squat, 365 clean, and a 34-inch vertical. So he's got some serious power. He plays similarly to Caden McDonald if it was just like a nose tackle. If he was just a nose tackle, one of the things I really like about Dominique Orange is he's good eye discipline. He looks in the backfield very quickly, and it helps him react on run concepts. He's not. Remember when I knocked Rayshon Benny for letting like the run play kind of come to him and tackling like downfield? He doesn't do that. He plays through the offensive lineman and tries to get it in the backfield. He makes the most of his limited pass rush opportunities, and or I shouldn't say limited. And the instances where he does win, he makes the most of it by closing the gap quickly to the quarterback, and he has a really good spin move. Other than that, he just wins quickly in the same way that like he'll get lucky and you'll shoot a gap. Like I feel like he won by getting lucky a lot.
Hey, the Packers could use a little bit of luck.
That's true.
I'd take it.
He's difficult to move again because he's so strong. He did really well against Iowa these past couple of years. Which is like they're an offensive line factory. So if you're playing well against Iowa, that's got to show something. I think his first step off the ball is like, okay, it's not as good as some of the other people in the class, but it's also not as bad as some of the other people in the class. His pass rush definitely needs development, but in the league, if you're playing him from like the 0 or the 1 tech, I don't think like you're going to get that much pass rush opportunities. So, and it's like a lot of his moves are slow. Or slow developing.
Yeah, that's one thing I did notice. He is spoiler alert. He's my 4. I mean, for starters, I love his nickname, Big Citrus.
Let's stick with Big Citrus and not Agent Orange. Can we like put that one out there? If Bruce Feldman is calling him Big Citrus, if NFLSE is calling him Big Citrus, I don't think we got to create another one. But
especially Adrian Orange.
Did you?
All things considered.
He's your 4, so you can talk about him in a minute. Did you notice that occasionally he gets like washed out of a run play?
Yeah, which is I was trying to figure out why people were saying, "Oh, he has an inconsistent anchor," and then I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
that actually makes
it's
sense.
not so much he's an inconsistent. It kind of plays into my previous point of where he's looking in the backfield. He'll get off the ball. He'll kind of get in a gap, look in the backfield, and then the guard will just kind of push him to the side. And he doesn't have the right position to fight back on that. And so he's just getting like ridden out of the play. And that happened a couple times.
He gets lost.
Mm-hmm. So
I think that's kind of the best way I would describe it.
And that's kind of where it's like, oh, he's a little boomer bust with like the run defense. When he's like, oh, he gets through quickly and guesses right, then he's like right there. But if not, he gets ridden out a little bit. But
I mean, I do like the first step as well with him. I do think it's fairly quick and there is the power there, but it's just like the pass rush there again. This draft needs the pass rushers for the defensive tackles needs to be developed. I would say one area that does concern me the most when I'm looking at these guys is his hand usage when taking on double teams.
Yeah,
I would like to see that be a little bit more consistent, just kind of given the fact that like the dude has 10.25-inch hands, he has almost a 34-inch wingspan. So he has the arms to be able to do it.
He doesn't corkscrew either.
Yeah.
So like unless you're teaching him to like drop to a knee and fight through it, but
that would be I don't know. Like I have him at 4 just because I like him more than the next two guys I have at 6 and 5.
Who's your number 6?
They're very Packer. I know you don't like him. I'm not the biggest fan of him either. But when it comes to his kind of like
McClellan.
The fact that
spoiler.
McClellan, yeah, McClellan. It's McClellan. Like the Packers lived at Missouri this year. Like four games in a practice, I believe it was. He's 6'4". He's 313. Chris McMillan frustrated me. And the reason he frustrated me is because this dude should be a freak of nature.
Yeah, like I saw he caught my eye one-on-ones at the Senior Bowl, and I kind of looked into him a bit, and I'm like, where was like the Senior Bowl him during the season? So
and I that's what I wondered too. Like, and this isn't to say he had a bad season either, because I mean, in 13 games, I mean, he still had 5 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, and 11 hurries, and he also had 2 batted passes.
Yeah,
and he's consistently put up sack numbers and hits and hurries the last 3 years. So it's not like it's there, but he didn't wow me. I was like, okay, this guy's fine, But like you look at his 34-inch arms, 11-inch hands, 313 pounds. He's 6'4". Just an average athlete though.
And when your edge rushers are Zion Young, projected 2nd round pick, and Damon Wilson, who got paid like $3 million in the portal to go play at Miami, like why have your sack numbers not been higher?
Yeah. I mean, I still respect the fact that he got 5.
Sure.
But to me, Chris McClellan's biggest issues are kind of like, it reminded me a little bit of LVN coming out. And he stands tall. I mean, again, he's 6'4". The punching is inconsistent. The pressing is inconsistent. The control is inconsistent. But in spite of all of those technique inconsistencies, he still did what he did, which is why I think too, like those inconsistencies, that's why I think his hurries were like 11 hurries. It should be better. I mean, again, like PFF isn't the be all end all, but 9.6 pass rush win rate, 8.1% run stop win rate. Like those are solid numbers for a guy his size, especially playing at Missouri where you're playing against
SEC competition.
Schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're not playing against the worst schools in the world here. And that, in terms of that, I think that this is just one of those instances where the Packers could take him because they are a draft and develop team, and there is a pretty big upside here in this pick. I may not like it. I may think it's underwhelming, but if you're drafting, you have Javon Hargrave, Wyatt already there. You have basically your 2 guys right there. You also are expecting Warren Brinson to take another step. Maybe they like Nazir Stackhouse as much as we do. We can hope, kind of a thing. I could see them drafting a Chris McClellan here as a guy who can rotate early on either run or pass rush downs because he has that opportunity, he has that ability, and he can step into a starting role in 2027. That's why he's on my list. Like the only thing I think was kind of average was his RAS score, if I recall
Okay.
correctly. Just double check that real quick. I don't think it was the worst. I don't think it was the greatest. I know he had a 505 40-yard dash, 10-yard split was 1.8, 29-inch vertical, 9-foot broad. He didn't do the three. Nobody did like a three. And 25 reps on the bench press. So, like again, it was one of those things where his height and weight kind of bumped him up to an 8.48, but the 10-yard split, like the burst wasn't there, the explosion was okay. It's just an average explosion. So, I don't know. I'm not sure where he goes. If like somebody like Chris Johnson falls and you're able to get him in the second, I wouldn't hate the fact if they took Chris McClellan in the third. I think that's definitely an upside pick there with some rotational potential.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Who is your 5?
I haven't done
Or no,
6 yet. Yeah.
Yeah, do your 6.
So if like this guy I have been exceptionally high on throughout the whole process. If like I feel like I could get burned by this one, but this is Landon Robinson from Navy.
Yeah. I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, he's
That's
6
boomer
for
bust,
me.
man.
He's 5'11", 291. Here's why the height and weight doesn't scare me. He bench presses 465, squats 665, and power cleans 350.
It's disgusting. It's just freaking nature.
Well, Navy weight room, buddy. So
Honestly, he's bench pressing battleships.
yeah, also, if you didn't think that was insane, he has a 33-inch vert and can run to 20.13 miles per hour. So
I'm sorry, how fast?
20.13 miles per hour.
Dude, imagine that running at you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Quickly.
Man, that's strong.
Like quickly. He had 6.5 sacks this past season with Navy and insane PFF grades. Like, and again, PFF isn't the be all end all, but it provides a good like reference. His pass rush win rate was 10.2%. His run stop win rate was 7.7%. 84.7 pass rush grade. 78.4 true pass rush grade. So he doesn't let his size like stop him. He slips under guards and he plays way bigger than his size is. He often too tries to corkscrew blockers in run defense. And when I say corkscrew is like you'll see defensive tackles often like drop to a knee to anchor themselves. And that's what I mean by that.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
He has a pretty good swim move and wins very quickly. And again, like Micah mentioned having a high motor. This guy's got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Pursuit.
Yeah. He pursues
he definitely
at very tenaciously. But like again, the concern is he's very undersized. The only other player at his size who played very well was Aaron Donald. Not saying that this guy's going to be the next Aaron Donald. Just like keep that in your mind.
That would be that would be crazy if a guy like that, like he falls like Puka.
Mm-hmm. Then again, like this like level of play came against AAC competition because he played at Navy. So it's like it's not like he was going out there and doing this in like the SEC or the Big Ten. So it'll be interesting to see how it translates to the NFL. And he wasn't invited to the combine either. So there was that. We don't have like pure testing numbers. We have what he did at his pro day, but
which all 32 teams went to, by the way.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Like he is ranked just above Dominique Orange for me at a 7.6 out of 10. He actually tied with my 5th player, but like he's projected to go in day 3, borderline UDFA. I would take him in like the 5th because I think
I can respect.
I think he's like plus Carl Brooks, and if you're playing a 5-man front, he's the 3 tech comfortably.
That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, the height and weight thing might be a turn off for the Packers, but what else?
True.
Getting into number 5, my number 5 is Devin Eastern out of Minnesota.
Not on my board. Didn't watch him.
Yeah, he is actually kind of interesting. He's a 3-year starter at Minnesota. There are, again, like one of these things is he is inconsistent in terms of his lower body's a bit more inconsistent. So he kind of It's up on the ground a little bit more than he should just because of that. But give you a perspective as to what kind of a person he is. 6'5", 315 pounds, 34-inch arms, 10-inch hands. So again, another dude who is just a very large human being. I know that the Packers do like him. That has been reported as well.
They met with
Versus
him
average.
informally, I believe.
Yeah. He has very strong hands, very long frame. He's really, really good at the point of attack. Like excellent at the point of attack. And I mean, Big Ten, that's physical. That's a physical conference there. The reason is I like him a lot and why I think the Packers could potentially go there is, again, run stuffer right away. I think you can teach pass rush, like you said. He reminds me a lot of Chris Tunga, and I wanted the Packers to sign Chris Tunga. I thought Chris Tunga was going to be a perfect fit. He signed with the Chiefs, so there's that. But instead, they can just draft him. They can just draft Devin Eastern, and I'll be perfectly fine with that.
Okay.
Again, you have these guys who are more prone to getting to the quarterback. They need a guy who has upside as a pass rusher, but it can at the very least come in, be a run stuffer right away.
That's what we need. So,
and who is your 5?
DeMonte Capehart.
That's my 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then so your 4 was Dominique Orange, and then now your 3 is this.
My 4 was Dominique Orange. Yes.
I wonder who your 2 could be.
I know, right? We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, so where was I? DeMonte Capehart, 6'5", 313, 33 and 7/8 inch arms, 10 and a quarter inch hands. Clemson had a down year overall this whole year, so I wouldn't hold that against him. Although Capehart's best year was in 2023. He's a well-built interior defender, like 84th percentile height, 70th percentile weight, 73rd percentile arm length, and 74th percentile hand size. So he's a good frame to play the position. I don't know if he's a true nose, and I think that's kind of more what the Packers are looking for. I wouldn't play him there all the time, but I think he can do it.
Yeah, I think he can play the 1 tech, but I definitely think he's more in line for like a 3 tech. But the problem is that
we have 3 other 3 techs on the roster.
Yeah, and his pad level gets a little high.
That's true. That is my con. For him, he the athleticism you saw at the combine is there on tape. He closes on plays pretty well. He's pretty quick laterally. He tries to long arm blockers as best he can, but then he still struggles to shed blockers. He can work through run plays pretty well and play the right run fit to get to make the tackle. He has pass rush development upside, I think, but I'm pretty big on being able to teach pass rush. I think the tools are there for him to grow as a pass rusher.
I just think it'd be hard to pass on him because of I know he's older,
but Hargrave is here for 1 more year.
Yeah,
I think
that agility is
the agility's there.
He was Capehart was the kind of guy where I didn't like him at first, and then you see the RAS score, and you're like, okay,
I'll go back and watch, and then you kind of look, and you're like, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it was, or this can be fixed. So it's kind of
I see the vision.
If you want a reclamation project, this is, I think, who you would draft. It would be interesting to see where he fits in our current defensive line scheme or defensive line room. I think if you're moving to a 3-4, he would be the nose tackle, unfortunately.
I don't think it's the worst.
It's not the worst. I think he can do it. I mean, again, he is 313. So
that 9.97 RAS score is kind of hard to ignore if you're Brian Gutekunst.
Yeah.
And he was your what again?
He was my 5. But you said, the pad level can get high. But I think it's just because he's 6'5". These guys tend to have a little higher pad level. It's just trying to teach them how to play through it or take the first couple steps a little lower.
And, I mean, he did play 57 career games at Clemson,
yeah.
So there is the consistency there. I mean, only 3 sacks, but overall, I like it. I do like it. I know Gannon loves high RAS interior defensive linemen for stunts and movement, so he could potentially be a rotational disruptor early, just kind of see what happens there. He was your 5. He is my 3. I already talked about Dominique Orange as my 4 as well, so I won't hit that again. Who is your
4?
Who's your 4 then?
My 4 is Grayson Halden.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I will preface this before you get into it. The only reason I didn't put him on my list was because I always mix him up from some random guy from Indiana. because of the colors. I don't know why I do that. I just do. But it was a weight thing for me.
I thought you
That
were a
was the
big
only
CJ
reason
West
why.
guy last year.
I was. Yes, I was a big CJ West guy. I don't know the colors. I just kind of mentally had like a lapse there. So he plays for Oklahoma, and I do like him. I just didn't put him on my list because of the weight.
Yes. So there is the weight thing. But again, if we're shifting to a 3-4, I think he has a role.
Okay.
He plays way bigger than his frame, and the like below he's small, we know that. 36th percentile height, 19th percentile weight, 19th percentile wingspan, 4th percentile arm length. But like he competes well against these interior linemen. Like he just plays so far above his weight class. When I was watching the tape, I was like, okay, this guy's small. Like he'll probably get washed out a lot. Dude, he shoots gaps so quickly. He's
really quick.
He's in the backfield like that. And that works so well to his advantage. He's just constantly creating havoc. He moves laterally very quickly as well. Like 1.7 second 10-yard split, 75th percentile. A 4.82 40, 95th percentile. And then he had 98th and 92nd percentile vertical and broad jumps respectively. Like just an explosive athlete. The way he uses his size to his advantage, the same way as kind of like Landon Robinson, is he dips through the guards' blocks and shoots the gap, but he's also not afraid to take them on. Like he'll just run full steam into a guard for the fun of it.
Yeah, I like I said, he's kind of a maniac
Mhm.
in there. Like I get why people would like him. I wonder if the Packers are willing to kind of think, oh, okay, we can maybe have him hit the weight room a little bit, put on a few pounds.
Yeah.
Because it's really not that much. I'm like I harp less on weight. I know the Packers tend to just a little bit more because not all 298 or however how much is he again 298, right?
293.
293. Not all 293 players are built the same. It's the same for like 185-pound quarterback. They're not all built the same. I firmly do believe that, and I also think that weight is a lot more smaller amounts of weight is a lot more fixable than people realize. Be able to maintain it, especially when it comes to like a defensive tackle here too, because he is so quick off the foot. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the Packers decide there.
Like
The only reason why he didn't make my list was because of the weight.
Like he's really high PFF grades, 10.4% pass rush run rate, 10.2% run stop rate, 76.9 pass rush grade, 86.9 run defense grade. Legitimately just because he is running through the gaps before the guards can like get there. He is that quick. He played really well alongside David Stone, who is draft eligible next year. Just the bigger defensive tackle next to the smaller one worked out really well. The downsides to him are like the limited length, like the very short arms make it difficult for him to disengage from blockers when they get his hands on him properly. And because he relies so much on his first step explosiveness, he doesn't really have much of a pass rush bag. And like the rush can kind of stall out.
I can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like if you imagine him trying to rush against like a Mekhi Becton at guard, it's not going to work out that well for him.
Okay.
So
yeah, there's a lot going on there. Who is your
3?
4? 3. Sorry. Yeah.
I think my 3 is your 2.
Is it Daryl Jackson Jr.?
It is.
Killing me, Smalls.
And so we'll talk about him in a second. My 2 is Lee Hunter. I'm not sure if you put him on here.
I didn't because I would have. Like, I love Lee Hunter. Like, Lee Hunter would have been my 2, and then Daryl Jackson Jr. would have been my 3.
Yeah.
Easily.
So like these next couple are like pretty chalky. Lee's probably going to be gone before we pick, but in the off chance he's not, I guess we can briefly talk about him. We'll start with Lee and then do Darrell and R1.
Yeah, I mean Lee Hunter, man, like he definitely raised his stock. I know there are other Packers beat writers that aren't as high on him. Peter Bukowski is one of them. Doesn't really like him. I like what I see there. He's just a gritty player. Like he can come in right away. I think he can anchor. I think that like the RAS score is one of those things that's deceiving because it doesn't line up with his tape, and that's okay that it doesn't line up with his tape because his tape is pretty good as well as his play.
Yeah.
So if Lee Hunter's there, I would love it.
Like he has a high motor, very strong. He's really good at one gapping for his size.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what stood out to me. And he understands how to work through blocks with his hands. You don't see much of like a pass rush bag, and he, like other people in this class, goes, I'm stronger than you, I'm going to push you backwards. and then disengage. Like there isn't much of like a swim move or a club or a spin or anything like that. And he doesn't attack double teams the way you would like. Doesn't try and corkscrew. He doesn't do anything. But man, can he disrupt the interior. He can just push a pocket backwards and get through very quickly because he's so strong. He has pretty good length for him. It's just like, I think the first step can be a little slow as well.
He's just a mean looking dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, he has a 6'9" wingspan. He can eat people too.
Yeah.
Like, and I think the biggest thing is you kind of briefly mentioned this, but when he fires off, like he's so low that he just creates that leverage.
Mm-hmm.
And for a guy with his wingspan,
Well,
and the
I
fact
think
that
he
he
can
is
get upright a
6'3",
little
almost
quickly
4.
sometimes too, but
Yeah. Like it's twitchy upper body. It honestly, he does shed centers pretty violently as well.
So tell me about Darrell Jackson Jr.
Dude, I love Darrell Jackson Jr. This is a massive human being. And the reason is I think the Packers could like him is because they had talked to Tennessee about potentially trading for T'Vondre Sweat a couple times.
This guy's so much better than Sweat. I would have him ranked above him.
This guy is a lot better than T'Vondre Sweat. And the reason is that I'll kind of get into this here first. Like, he's a 7'2" wingspan. 7'2".
Yeah. I have him at 6'5", 315, 34 and 3/4 inch arms, and 11-inch hands.
He's a massive individual. And like in other episodes, we kind of said he's like a less athletic not Jalen Carter.
Jordan Davis?
A less athletic Jordan Davis. Yeah, a less athletic Jordan Davis.
I would
And that
like
kind of
to
gets-
change my comp maybe. Because he
Okay.
doesn't, when like rewatching him for this, he doesn't play like Jordan did. And
Mhm.
he's like not, he's length. He is more length. Like what's the term for that? He rangier? No. When you have like really long arms.
Yeah, a ganglier.
Like
I
that
guess.
doesn't sound, he's lankier, I think. Yeah. Like he's 99th percentile wingspan, 94th percentile height, 92nd percentile arm length. He carries his weight really well. Like you wouldn't expect that he's 315. He does not look 315.
No, he does not. I still keep the Jordan Davis comp, and here's why. Davis coming out played with better technique.
Yes. I also think he
Whereas-
played stronger. Like Darrell Jackson Jr. is strong. He's not quite Jordan Davis.
Yeah, that's my knock for Darrell Jackson Jr. is he plays. He relies on his size. He's like, I am bigger than you, and he is bigger than most
Yeah.
people. Like he really is. Like he's bigger than most people, and so he doesn't necessarily rely on his technique. So that was part of the reason why I think he didn't test as well.
Well, he didn't run
Very early
he
on.
didn't run the 40 or anything.
No, he didn't really do. He didn't like just do like.
He
I
did
wasn't too
on-field
impressed with the
stuff.
vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he looks quicker on film when he kind of comes off the snap a little bit
Mhm.
more. I also think that I really like the way he uses his legs to drive and just crank up the bull rush on them
True.
centers. Like
I think he tries to get underneath the guard and center's chest to gain the leverage, but he can play a little high just because he again is 6'5".
yeah,
And again, with a guy who's 6'5", he can't get quite as low in his stance as other defensive tackles can. So
when that technique is on though,
it's
man,
really on.
he consumes the two gaps.
Like he played really well against Miami, Bama, and Florida.
which is huge. Yeah,
And
I mean,
he's
and,
very
like,
hard
for-
to move as
he-
well. Like we said,
and he can move.
yeah, we said Dominique Orange gets to like washed out of run plays occasionally. This never happens to Darrell Jackson Jr.
Yeah. Oh man. And like of all the upside picks, like I would love this in the second. I would. Like I would love him in the second. I think he'd be I think there's huge upside here, especially moving into this is like a 2026, 2027 and beyond type of starter. I think he could be more consistent of a defensive tackle than Devontae Wyatt was or has been. Like that's the kind of upside that I see here, especially with Marcus Covington, depending on how long that happens there. He was your 2. This was my 2.
Lee was my 2.
Who's
You
your
didn't
2?
rank him. Like he would have been. You think he's gone
Darrell
before?
Jackson?
No, Lee.
Oh yeah, Lee Hunter. Yeah, I think he's gone. And this kind of gets into both of us have the same one here, and I have bad news. NFL Stock Exchange have Christian Miller going above Banks and Woods now.
Oh
So
God, I love those
It's
guys, but
so-
why would they do it to us? Well, I mean, I
I
would
know.
be pretty happy with Woods too, but like Miller is like the dream at defensive tackle. And here's why.
Yes.
He's a strong run defender, rarely gets washed out of plays, and he has mastered the corkscrew technique. He always goes to do it when he gets double teamed. He plays up and down the line of scrimmage. Georgia likes to do this. Like, they like to play their guys anywhere. Like, you've seen Christian Miller line up on the edge, and he does it. Mm-hmm. I should actually start off by saying he's 6'4", 321, 33-inch arms and 10-inch hands. That's pretty decent. He generates pressure, but he doesn't really, like, the pressure to sack conversion rate isn't there. You'd like that to be a little higher. But 70.8 pass rush grade, 71.7 true pass rush grade. And he, like, again, elite run defender. You see that through his highlights. He's always played quality competition. His best games have come against Texas, Bama, and Ole Miss, with Tennessee and Auburn there as well.
I love how active he is. Like, just, I love how, like, he is just, and he's active all the time. Like, one of the things that Micah Parsons says, he likes a guy who pursues. And, like, Christian Miller is a guy who is just, he's active all along the defensive line, doesn't give up. He grinds, he'll get there, and he'll keep trying to get there no matter what. Like, it's just hard. I hope he goes. I mean, if he's there at 52, if you have to trade up for him, I could see if he starts to fall a little bit. The Packers are like, okay, maybe let's trade up for this guy. Let's trade up for the 321-pound, 6'4" defensive tackle out of Georgia because we like our Bulldogs.
Would. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, 100% would. Like, I'd be fine with that kind of a thing. I mean, the day two corners, I mean, or round 3 and round 4 corners are all pretty much kind of blending together, 2, 3, 4 for me. So, I mean, you can get I believe a quality starting cornerback in round 4 in this draft as well. So, like, if you got to trade up, man, Christian Miller, do it.
Like, and we just now have like an abundance of 4th round picks next year.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be bothered burning 1 or 2 of those to go up this year and get
a defensive tackle who can rotate and start, if hopefully won't have to start, but need be, and can defend the run here moving forward. But I mean, this is a great defensive tackle draft for the Packers.
You want like 1 or 2 of these guys at least. Like, if you want to, just because Devontae White is coming back from injury. He's older. Javon Hargrave is older as well. I'm not certain that Devontae White is going to get a extension. He still could, but he's going to be 29 when he's technically a free agent. That's, realistically speaking, you have to treat him like a 3rd contract. So if the Packers can get maybe like an older, quote unquote, nose tackle and a younger pass rush upside defensive tackle here, that helps secure your future. You feel a little bit more comfortable maybe keeping Javon Hargrave over a guy like Devontae Wyatt, who's turning 29 and has some injury prone, has been, I don't want to call him injury prone, but has had some injury issues here the past 2 seasons. And Brian Gutekunst doesn't seem to like those kind of guys. We still have a couple more draft episodes here. Obviously, like, the Packers are going to be bringing in players for their top 30s. That's going to be kind of coming up. There's some pro days coming up. I kind of want to look at the tight end class next because there's a lot of guys in there. I can get behind that.
Like, and I feel like the Packers, like, they won't take one early necessarily unless, like, a freak of nature falls. But I wouldn't be shocked.
If, like, Roush is there in the 4th, sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's what I was going to say. If there's, like, the 4th, I could see, like, oh, okay, there we go. But I really do like this tight end class. I think we should talk about it next year just because there's a lot of guys who are, like, I would have draftable grades on, and you could you could even pick up a UDFA who maybe has, like, a 5th round grade because there's that many draftable guys.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll get started on that right away.
Hitting the offense, for once. For once, Well, that is all for today, folks. See you next time.
To Packers fans coast to coast, thanks for going beyond the frozen tundra. We appreciate you tuning in. And as always, go Pack Go!